It's time for Growing Hope, the show determined to grow up hearts open to pursue the extraordinary. Because you are extraordinary! And now, it's your host, Catherine Lang.
Hello there, I am Catherine Lang, your Hope Smith extraordinaire, and we are on a journey to grow hearts that are open to pursue our extraordinary. And we're doing it a little different today because it's always good to try something different. So I enjoy sharing, talking, being with you in as many different pathways as we can discover. And it has been brought to my attention that the faces I make are as entertaining as some of the comments I make. So I thought, why not just jump into the Growing Hope production as a video as well as an audio. So you can now see it. You'll now be able to see it on YouTube, on our website, catherinelang.com, or through the different audio options such as Spotify, iHeartRadio, and of course, Blueberry itself. We have been on this journey to understand and talk butterfly. And what I mean by that is that we are uniquely designed to take flight, to do something amazing in our lives and for our lives. But throughout our lives, people have told us that you can't do that, you can't make money that way, it's never been done that way before, and so many other obstacles have been put in our place. So we have been tethered to this world as caterpillars. Well, we're on this process to grow from being a caterpillar to taking flight into our unique design. And this last couple of days, we've been talking about how to build the caterpillar's cocoon, how to protect yourself in order for you to be able to take flight. And today we're talking about having a focus place, a place where you can go and really hone in and determine your unique design, because you have to have focus to reach your destination. You have to have focus to know what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And if you don't have the focus, then you will not be able to get there. And quite honestly, even if you get there, you won't know you got there because you didn't have the focus. So we're going to be talking about a focus place today. Find your way to focus, find your reason to focus, find your space for focus, find a way to have physical focus, not just mental focus, but also to have the mental focus. The more that you are focused on your journey, the less you can be distracted by the things around you. The more that you are distracted by the things around you, the more likely you are to end up someplace you didn't want to be. The best example I have of this is target shooting. If you are shooting at a target and you are looking at that target, then you know when you release the arrow whether or not that arrow hits the target. And if someone blindfolds you and you are still facing that exact same direction, you have an idea of focus of whether or not you hit the target, unless somebody moves the target. Or they spin you in circles. You're blindfolded, they spin you in circles. Now you have no way of knowing whether or not you're hitting the target. You can shoot the arrow, take off your blindfold and see, but you have no way of knowing before you release that arrow whether or not it's going even in the direction of the target, because you have no focus. You have no way to focus because you're completely blindfolded. But when we are building this caterpillar cocoon, we want to be able to focus so that we know whether or not we're aimed in the right direction and whether or not the arrow that we release is going to do what we want it to do. We have limited resources, especially limited time, and we need to make sure that that time is doing what we want that time to do. So we have to come to this place of focus. First, we need a way to focus. We need to develop the habits and the practices that are going to engage our focus. that are going to enhance our focus. Um, I will confess something. Several weeks ago, we've been going through a very tough time. And so several weeks ago, I loaded a game app on my phone. Now, I started out just using that as a distraction in um, when a commercial came on the TV or some other type of opportunity when I didn't need to focus. But eventually, the app became my focus, and I was doing nothing but watching that app. So I'm watching this app all the time. It's become a complete focus and it completely distracted me from everything else. It became a habit of distraction as opposed to a habit of focus. So, what I have done is I deleted the app completely and I set a schedule for myself and I set timers. Timers are a really good way for me to focus. I like to compete against the timers and try to get more done in the time allotted to me. So I am utilizing these timers as a way to create a habit of focus so that I can practice focusing on what I'm doing, what I need to do. I also use my focus folder. I use it every day. I write down what I'm going to do today and then I put stickers on it because they're fun. And then I follow through in doing what is on that focus folder. And I utilize the timers to get it done. What ways can you practice focusing? What ways can you develop a habit for focusing? When you have something that works for you, then put it to work. If it doesn't work for you, let it go. A friend of mine taught me about bullet journals, and she said, "Oh, this is perfect. You'll get everything done you need to get done, and then you'll know to shift it." And so I tried it, but I spent more time writing the bullet journal than I did getting anything done. It just didn't work for me. We have to find what works for us. That's the whole point of this caterpillar journey, is finding what works for you and then putting it to work. The second thing that we want to do in developing this focus place is having a reason to focus. Ultimately, it needs to be your why. That's going to give you the most motivation and the most determination to get there. But sometimes it's something little, like I just want to get to the end of the day, or just want to finish this project. I just want to get this closet clean. Whatever it is that you set as a reason for your focus, know why you are doing what you are doing. This, even if it's just one task, this one little bitty task, know why you are doing it. If you do not know why you are doing it, then you will struggle to get it done. It will just become a much doing. You would just get caught up in much doing. And what it'll feel like is that you're just spinning your wheels. You're not actually accomplishing anything because there wasn't a reason behind what you're doing. If there is a reason behind what you're doing, you're much more likely to get it done. So, what are some reasons for your focus? One of the reasons that I have focus on getting my office in order is because it soothes my husband. He does not like clutter. It sends him off the deep end. And so, in order to help that pathway, I want to get everything in order. Now, we are in a transition period as a family. And because we're in a transition period, it is very hard to choose to settle. So this morning, I determined that despite where we are and despite not knowing where we are going, I am choosing to settle today, right here where we are. I used to do the same thing when we would go camping. We were only going to be there for a couple of days, but I would set it up as though it was our home because it was for those 2 days. And in choosing to have this focus and choosing to know why I'm doing what I'm doing, it's easier to get it done. So why are you taking the actions that you're taking or that you're going to take or that you need to focus on? What is your why? Whether it's a long-term why or a short-term why. The third thing to think about is space. You have to have space in order to stay focused. And this is not just physical space, but it is also time management. I mentioned that one of the reasons I'm cleaning my office is to calm my husband. But truth be told, having a cleared office space, having an organized office space makes it easier for me to do what I need to do. It also keeps me from getting distracted chasing another squirrel. And sometimes in my office, it could be a literal squirrel. It's just like that some days. But if I have, if my office is clutter free, everything's filed the way it's supposed to be filed, everything is in reach that needs to be in reach, then I don't have to worry about not being able to find that item that I need to be working on. It allows for you to have the focus you need for what you need to accomplish. This goes with your physical space, it goes with your schedule. If you overload your schedule, you will feel overwhelmed. We had a jam-packed weekend the other day, or one day. So we had to drive to one city for one event, then we had to drive to another city for another event, and then we had to drive another city for another event. But we scheduled in travel time and we scheduled in buffer time. So we knew that we had time to get from point A to point B to point C without stressing. At the end of the day, we had a wonderful time visiting together. We had a wonderful time visiting with friends and family. And we came out refreshed and recharged because we didn't overwhelm ourselves. When we are cluttered in our time or our space, then we are overwhelmed. And when we're overwhelmed, it is hard to stay focused on what it is we're trying to accomplish. If you're going to move from being a caterpillar to being a butterfly, or if you're going to encourage somebody to move from being a caterpillar to being a butterfly, then the calm and the space and the focus is required in order to make that happen. So we need to have space to be focused. The fourth thing to think about is physical focus. We need to be physically focused on what it is we're trying to do. We need to be aware of the vision, the hearing, the speaking, repetitive in our focus. The last week, a lot of words were spoken that were very negative in their nature towards me and towards what I was doing. Because I am very blessed and because I have invested in encouragement on a consistent basis and being around encouragers, I was able to rally around me the words I needed to hear to remind me that yes, you are the face of encouragement. Yes, that you do need to be speaking these things and sharing these things. When we see, hear, and speak what the goals what we're trying to reach, the why of what we're doing, then we stay focused on what it is that we're doing. But if we are hearing things, speaking things, and seeing things that are counter to what the butterfly needs to be doing, to taking flight into all of our possibilities, then it's going to be nearly impossible to stay focused on the possibilities. Whatever it is that you're putting into your eyes and your ears settles down into your heart. And when it settles down into your heart, it becomes your driving force. So we want to be invested in the focused, the focus words, the words that allow us to focus on our possibilities. So we need to be focused in with what we hear, what we see, and what we say. If you cannot combat one, then let it be overloaded by the other. So if you have to be around negative because for whatever reason, then be invested in seeing and speaking positives. In our case, we had scripture in front of us that we read the whole time these negative words were being said. And it fed our hearts so that we were able to stay focused in our physical situation. The fifth thing is your mental focus. And a lot of times your mental focus is going to be affected by your physical focus. So always keep that in mind, because remember, what we're seeing and what we're hearing is settling into our hearts. But our mental focus is our emotions and our intuition. Emotions, probably more than intuition, are affected by what we see and what we hear and what we say. And so when we are invested in positive, in focused words, then we feed the positive emotions. In my situation, the negatives were so overwhelming that it was very difficult not to let the emotions stir up. And I remember saying, I am going to be honest, authentic, and raw, and not rude. But at the end of hearing all this negativity, I said, I'm going to be honest, authentic, raw, and possibly a little rude. And I meant that. I really did. As moving forward, I was looking at possibly saying things that were counter to my intuition. My intuition is to be an encourager. My intuition is to be hope and possibility thinking. And because of all of this negative, my focus had shifted. And once I realized my focus had shifted, I was able to say, okay, I really do want to be in all that I'm doing and everything that I'm doing. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to step in front of the camera is I want to be authentically me. I want to be truthful in who I am. I want to be raw in who I am. And I don't want to be rude. Now, sometimes people are going to take what I say as being rude, but I really am just trying to be authentically, genuinely hope-filled. And in doing so, I shifted my focus back. I aligned my intuition and my emotions with my vision, my hearing, and my speech. And I had the focus I needed to take the next step. When we are working on taking flight into our possibilities, it requires us to release our hold on, or allow to release our tether to the world. The world limits what we can do. Every single time, the world is going to limit what we can do. But we are designed to take flight into all sorts of possibilities. And when we untether ourselves, then we're free to do that. Having a focus place, having a pathway to focus will allow you to release that tether and take flight. So you need a way to focus, a reason to focus, a space to focus, have physical focus, and have mental focus. When all of these elements combined, no matter what the world throws at you, you begin to find your way to stay focused on your unique design. You are uniquely designed on purpose and for purpose. And guess what? That time is now. You're designed for such a time as this. When you truly and honestly receive that and believe that, you are going to take flight. You are going to release that tether and take flight. If you are struggling to find your unique design, I am here to help you. Just reach out. You can connect with me over at catherinelang.com, or you can connect with me on social media. I'm the Catherine C. Lang over on Facebook. I'm Catherine C. Lang on LinkedIn, and I'm Catherine C. Lang on Twitter. I am here to encourage you. I'm not just the face of encouragement. I am the heart of your possibilities. Let's connect today. Until next time, remember that in all that you're doing, find a way to be blessed and to be a blessing.
Thank you for joining us for Growing Hope with Catherine Lang, where we are sharing hope, encouragement, and inspiration to do more. Visit www.catherinelang.com to invite Catherine to be part of your event or to share your own stories of possibility living. Until next time, remember that a seed of hope planted and nurtured will grow up into a world of possibilities.